Today's operation and procurement managers are younger, they're more web savvy, and they do 80% of their research silently before they ever fill out a contact form or even consider meeting with a sales rep or someone of your team. And if these high performing people are even a quarter as obsessive as I am when I do research before buying or doing business with somebody, what I'm about to say next is something that you're going to want to pay attention to. I'm going to list 3 examples for you, okay? We got the beef supplier, we got the tech SaaS firm, and we got a medical device company. So let's go to the beef supplier first. Now, they deal with a restaurant chain and it needs 10,000 pounds of beef. 10,000 pounds of beef a month. That's a lot. They meet your rep at a food expo. They go to your website and it looks like it was built in 1998. The deal dies silently. Then you got the tech SaaS firm, and maybe a hospital is looking for a new software to incorporate into their system. They check your LinkedIn, it's a ghost town. They go with a competitor who has weekly video series explaining their software. They've got a medical device company. So there's a clinic comparing 2 devices, trying to figure out which one to go with. One company has a 10-minute mini doc showing the engineering process. The other just has a PDF spec sheet. Who do you think wins that battle? I can already hear your argument against this. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, but what happens when the referrals slow down? Even if they hear about you through word of mouth, okay? Maybe they do. What is the very next thing that they're going to probably do? Search you up on Google? Look you up on social media? Figure out what you're all about? If your digital footprint doesn't match the glowing referral that you were given, friction has now been introduced into the sales process. I want to introduce some tools for you, but before we do that, let's define one word. What is brand authority? It is building a library of high value, educational, and human-centric media that does the selling while your sales reps are sleeping. I'm going to leave that on the screen for a second so you can read it one more time. It is building a library of high value, educational, and human-centric media that does the selling while your sales reps are sleeping. Now here is an arsenal of things that you can put in your tool bin, toolkit, repertoire, whatever you want to call it today. You can host an in-person masterclass or an event teaching whatever skill or value that you want to provide to your target buyer. You can do a deep dive written article and white papers. This shows your expertise, and I don't mean just posting your vague blogs or LinkedIn articles. I mean actually bring data-driven results from your industry, your findings, or what's been working for different people. Put it into a deep dive article. Go deep. Do a weekly LinkedIn micro TV show. This is one of my favorite things I've seen online. Not many people are utilizing this, but it can feature anything and everything regarding your business, the industry, people under your company, anything and everything. And this just gets you in front of people. You become something that people want to tune into, and you become a authority figure in your space. And this last one, it's a 5-minute mini doc, maybe on an employee, a legacy customer. And why would you want to do any of this? It can improve your employee retention. It can attract better talent. It can increase better word of mouth. And I'm already hearing the next pushback. Why spend money on media when we have sales reps? Why spend all this money on you expensive marketing people, you expensive agencies, the firms, whatever? You're going to charge me an arm and a leg. I have a question for you. How long is your current sales cycle? 6 months? 12 months? Are you even tracking your sales cycle? Do you know how long it takes to close one deal? How much time does it cost to pay a sales rep to chase a cold lead for a year. The goal is not to replace your sales reps or your marketing team. Your goal is to give them a war chest of assets to deploy so that your clients close themselves faster. In this third concept, it's the buyer's journey. And I'm not going to go explaining every part of what the buyer's journey is. But I am a visual person, so let's put a visual in front of you so you can see what I mean. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. The top of the funnel in your case is they meet your rep at a trade show or they hear a referral. That's how they enter your funnel. One of those two things, let's just call it that for now. Then we got the middle of funnel. This is what I like to call the silent binge. So this is where the sales compression happens. So instead of waiting for a third follow-up email from your rep, they find your YouTube masterclass. They watch a mini doc on how your team averted a supply chain crisis. They read your deep dive articles. So now they've spent 3 hours consuming your expertise at night. 3 extra hours they've spent time with you or your company. Now let's go to the bottom of the funnel. This is where the results happen. By the time they hit contact us, they've already visualized themselves working with you. They know your workflow. They know your employees' faces. They know how you operate. This compression is about the silent binge. The initial meeting, when you talk to a potential customer buyer in the discovery call, doesn't exist anymore. It's because you don't have to prove that you're competent to them. It becomes an onboarding call. So you just took a 6-month sales cycle consisting of 12 emails back and forth, 4 meetings, a pitch deck, compressed into 3 weeks, a 3-week cycle, because the media or whatever in-person assets that you use did the heavy lifting up front. And look, I want to preface this. This only works if you're doing the right work, the right media, and you're not going and doing this halfways. You got to be intentional about doing these things. That's all I got for you this week, and I'll see you on next week's video.